Back, Chief Mrs. Olabisi Lucas was our fan pick for the month of January. We paid a courtesy visit to her and had a blast hanging out with her. Let's watch this clip.
It was a surprise, ma. Great to meet you.
Sandra! Sandra! Can you come back? You are this high. Now I hope my place will be large enough for you. Oh, wow. I hope my place will be. I hope you'll be, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't tell me.
You
are bringing
wanted
the
to
whole
surprise you,
house.
ma.
Morayo.
Yes, ma'am.
He was the surprise I first saw.
It was
Oh, God. He didn't tell me.
yes, that's the idea.
For us, you are all me down.
In here, your thoughts, want to get your perspective on the fact that one research said that Nigerian women are the most unfaithful wives in the entire world. Now, if this is true by any means, what do you think is that thing that causes a woman, a Nigerian woman, to be unfaithful? Why would a Nigerian woman choose to be unfaithful to her husband? Yes, Nigerian women, we act as if we're so innocent that we don't know these things. But really and truly, we actually very corrupt. Sanzi, you want to say something?
I do want to. I'm not saying the married women that they're all saints, but then looking at that list of top 8, and then Nigeria is topping the list. Countries like Russia, America, they're all. I think America is about number 7 or so. I think Nigerian women should sue. I think we should.
What I know is a lot more Nigerian women are being unfaithful as opposed to our grandmothers who were never ever unfaithful to their men. Our women are now saying if the men think that they have the monopoly, no, we can also be unfaithful. But number 1 in the world, I disagree.
I want to look at it from a different perspective. Chief Mrs. Lucas, I think she belongs to the old school of women where women were really faithful to their husbands, and women they didn't want all these material things. Nigerian women today want to carry a Prada bag, a Versace this, a Chanel that, and many of their husbands cannot afford to provide those things for them. So because their husbands cannot provide, they now look outside for these things. They want to drive big jeeps, Benz, that, you know, we don't cut our costs. I have seen a lot. I know a friend of mine that came into Nigeria. He's an American guy, and he came to visit my brother one day. He says he can't, all the married women chasing him, and he can't understand why are they chasing him. And I was like, you never see anything yet. I have seen a lot. At 53, you know, I belong to a different generation from Chief Mrs.
Like YK said, there's a different generation of people right now. And the newer set of ladies that we have, because the research is showing, based on information, they did the research, they had facts. Married women right now have husbands who cheated on them back to back for a long time. Yes. So vengeance is now making women step out. Yes. So we're having more unfaithful women who might look like they want perfect, gentle, perfect ladies inside the house, but they realize their husbands are cheating. Then why should I remain faithful to a husband that is cheating? Right now, there's a higher ratio of women stepping out of marriage, cheating on their husbands because they feel that the other doesn't deserve my faithfulness. Morayo.
Married women are actually more attractive to men out there, because single guys prefer a married woman because she always has to go. She can always go back home. She doesn't have to always come back or look for him and all that kind of stuff. So now you as a married woman, you're obviously more attracted to a single. So would you Do you think you can consider it? Let me throw it at you.
The truth is that it's not like I've not had a lot of advances from men, but I think the analogy to say that Nigerian women are the most unfaithful in the world, I feel is wrong. But I still want to stand with what YK said, because that's the exact same thing that is happening right now. A lot of women want something that their husbands cannot support, and that's why most of them cheat. You don't see them cheating because their husband is cheating on them. That one, I don't think that is the basis of. They are cheating because it's gotten so big that they want things that their husband cannot afford, and the only way they can get it is to sleep with other men to get it.
Sadly, I've seen women who cheated on their husbands, and it is not because of worldly things, but because the man has failed to provide for them, and they have children, and they were tempted by their husband's friends to sleep with them, to care for their children. That is where it comes in. If a woman has to, a woman that is not used to working, unfortunately, that was what happened. Her husband has never allowed her work, and then all of a sudden he has reasons to say, okay, I want to punish you, with knowing that she is the only one who can meet her needs. And then the next thing, a friend that has always come to the house, and she goes to him for help. Wait, let me finish. And then he tempted her. She was desperate because she was abandoned for close to a year. She had hungry children to feed. The annoying thing is this: the religion I practice forbids that. If your wife commits adultery under such circumstances, the sin is on the husband. The husband who failed to provide for her because he has pushed her to do something she knows is forbidden. I don't encourage it. I would never try it. But I think I'm blessed because I have a marriage and I can also provide for myself. Unfortunately, some women out there cannot. She even had it.
If a woman cannot provide for, if the husband cannot provide for his wife, what stops him? What stops her from looking for a job to fend for the family? Must she cheat? Must she sleep with another man to get that money? No.
Well, I don't think there should be a generalization about Nigerian women being unfaithful. We have one or two married women who are unfaithful, and it's mainly because they want to get back at their husbands. As I say, Nigerian men are the most unfaithful men I have known. And some women, they want to get back at their husbands. So, especially, when I was working, I knew some married men who were, flirting, in the office and things like that. And I used to wonder why they were doing it. I think because they needed some money. The man at home is not providing enough money for them. Wow. And mostly they go with their bosses, who's normally much better paid than the one at home. Yes.
Wow. It's the same thing we're saying.
Yes.
A lot of them do it for material.
Yes, but I don't think they are in the majority. I love this your view so much. First, because of YK.
Welcome back. We have Cobungs Emmanuel Asuko in the studio with us, but we're going to introduce you properly later. But first, ladies, we have to talk about Chief Mrs. Lucas. Yes. We just saw the video on her. YK, you want to say one or two things?
I got to meet her. My cousin is her lawyer, and she's been talking about the show, how she loved the show, and she gave her my number. I said I give her my number, and then she called, and then she used to go on about the show, how she loved the show. She can't miss it at 11:30 p.m. Because you don't have.
I was just moved by her age, 75. She's so strong, and she never missed the show. Goodness me.
And the one that even, because it was a surprise, I didn't tell her. I just said, oh, I'm coming to see you.
Yes.
And I didn't tell her all of us were coming.
So now she said, Mariah, Jumoke, Uwa, Viva.
You know, what I liked about her was the fact that she knew our names. She knew us by our names.
I didn't know you this high.
You know the funniest thing? You know when we had that show, I think Christmas Day show, she watched that show, and then we threw a question to the audience that they should say our full names. Yes. She called me after, like maybe a week later, and they said, you don't even ask of me. Anyway, I was watching the show and they didn't know your name. I know all your names.
Everything.
It's now said all the names. I was just laughing.
Wow. Well, so we just want to say thank you so much for having us in your house. At least we had a great time with you, Ma. I know you're watching right now. God bless you. Many more years to you. Amen. In Jesus' name. Amen. Now, Cobram's in the building. Cobram's Emmanuel Asuko is a phenomenal award-winning musician, producer, songwriter, and record label head extraordinaire. He shot to international acclaim with his production of Asha's hit album, 2007. He has since written and produced for Nigeria's finest artists like Banky W, Waje, Omaomi, Timi Dakolo, and has also arranged and composed film scores to be interpreted for conservatories as well as for film and stage performances. Cobams is happily married with a little baby son, right? He's still a little boy, right?
Well, he's a man now.
Oh, he's a man now. It's great to have you on the show, Cobams. Thank you for coming.
He's 3 going on 35.
Oh, wow. How are you doing, Cobams?
I'm fantastic, and my goodness, an amazing bevy of ladies. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm just sitting backstage and just enjoying the banter. Fantastic.
That's cool. So let's go. How's family? How's family, wife, son? How's your little boy? Tell us. I'm interested in your little boy.
He's quite the character.
Oh, wow.
So he learns to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star when he was 2 years and a month old.
Oh wow!
I think that's phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
I mean I don't think I played anything intelligible on the piano until I was about maybe 8.
Wow!
So
he's playing towards music.
Towards everything. He's commandeered my iPad. He's just one of those kids. But it might be music for him. He's an amazing kid. And then, I make it a point of duty to play for him and now every day when he comes back from school. So.
Fantastic. So how have you been? How's work been?
Work's great, exciting. Super exciting.
Your success story is inspiring, and I would always attribute it to probably because maybe you had an influential background, your family and all that would have helped you even with your, some difficulties.
You need to watch my TEDx talk. You understand my family background. I'm not sure where this comes from. I think it might have something to do with how I've chosen to carry myself, or how I've chosen to talk. But I'm proud of the fact that I'm a confirmed barrack boy. I was born and raised in the barracks, and and I see, I run into friends who today are still, on one rung or the other, below where they would love to be, and I relate with them, and I don't forget the fact that this is where I have come from, and I've come this far. So it's not a silver spoon story.
Yeah.
At all.
Yes, because I read your bio for the show, and I noticed that you're not a silver spoon, but you speak like a silver spoon kid.
Thank you. Wow. I take that. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, because some of us that have sight cannot even aspire or will not even reach
get to where you are.
a tenth of where you have reached.
And I guess that's the challenge. Yeah, I guess that's the challenge, though. When and I said it's an interview once that when the odds are stacked against you as you start life, you're left with 2 choices. One is to ride it, for what it is. The other is to ride above it. I feel like, I was born to fight, to fight through life. Either fight through life or just, ride life, just wing it, you know what I mean? And I chose to fight through life, especially because I'm a dreamer. See what I mean? So, and then as you achieve your dreams, it spurs you on and it encourages you to do bigger things.
Now, a lot of young people don't want to start from scratch. They want to ride on somebody's success. Everybody wants to become a musician because, they see Two-Face making a lot of money. They don't want to go through that rudiments of actually have voice training, learning the ropes. Yes. How do you manage this kind of new artist and this new generation of artists? They want to become stars overnight.
Yeah, well, the honest truth is, you know, we have a very faulty judgment when it comes to ratio. We look at the 1% or the 2%, and we kind of give a 98 or a 97% credit to 2% in the sense that so we have, you know, Wizkid or Davido or, you know, whichever successful Nigerian artist right now. You know, the successful artists in truth are still in the minority. You know what I mean? So the assumption that if you can sing When I'm Go Down Low and stuff like that, it's going to put you out there and make you successful. If you have the statistics, you know, they would probably discourage you, especially if, you know, your reasons for going in, you know, are more in the line of, you know, I want to make it and I want to make quick money. Because it'll frustrate you, it'll put you through the ringer, but then you're going to come out if it is really what you want to do. Like, I remember, you know, in my SS1, I said to God, why did you bother giving me this talent if you knew you weren't going to make anything out of it? I've swallowed those words between then and now. But I'm talking about being put through the ringer, literally, like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, time will tell. Time will tell if you're in it for the wrong reasons.
So there's someone that's tweeting to me. He says he has his demo that he's done, and he wants me to introduce him to Two-Face or Wizkid. And I said, you know what, they're recording artists. I don't think, so if I give him your own connection, can you help him? Because you are the one that is a record.
That brings me to a question. Sorry, before you answer that question.
Yes.
Most of the songs you've worked on, Asha's song, you know, they were hits and songs that they will last over time. They are songs that won't just fade away. How do you pick these songs? Would you take a demo like YK just said, or you select some artists you have preference?
I think music is a very strong form of art. You know, you go to the movies and you watch a great movie and you cry. You watch a great comedy, you know, great drama, you cry. You watch a great comedy and you laugh. And, you know, movies excite you, you know, they intrigue, they do all kinds of things. You know, so do paintings. You know, if you have an eye for them, I mean, of course you have to acquire, you know, the taste or the eye for a Monet or a Da Vinci or whatever it is, or Caravaggio or whatever. But you have an eye for it when it's your style. It hits you, and it makes you. It releases, you know, a certain what's it called, surge of emotion in you. Music's got to be able to do that to you. I mean, I used to hang out with Asha, and she'd be playing the guitar. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, she's a star. Like, I would jump off of my seat because, you know, just the combination of her voice and that guitar would just drive me bananas. You know what I mean? And it's so with all the guys. I mean, I've been working with Amal, me, and Timmy Dakolo and Banky W for years now. And we're actually working on new materials. And every time we get into the studio, we're on a high of creating music. You know what I mean? If you can afford to be on a high of creating natural music without, you know, having to abuse substance, and you know you're in a very deep spiritual music space.
That's fantastic, but the truth is, what brings the money is the bend down low kind of songs, right? So Timmy Dakolo, yes, he's giving us fantastic music. Asha is doing, I mean, Asha is a bit exceptional because she's gone international. Timmy Dakolo also is going international. Now, if we put a Timmy Dakolo and a Wizkid, Wizkid obviously is bringing in the cash. Wizkid is probably, well, Dakolo is probably, I mean, he's working hard and he's getting his money, but maybe not as fast and quickly as a Wizkid. So a lot of young people would rather do a Wizkid kind of song than a Timmy Dakolo where you have to go through that whole high. And you don't need to, and it appeals to a selected group of people. So how would you?
I think it comes down to our orientation as a people. And this is hard to say, and some people will say, well, you can say it now because you have been fool now. You know, the honest truth is, you know, it comes down to our orientation, it comes down to our values. Like, there are a lot of things we want, not necessarily because they're things we need, but because they're things that are going to give people the impression that we have made it. So we want things, not so much for ourselves, but for the impression that we will create. I know Timmy Dakolo personally. I know that he's super comfortable. I'm not pleased. His village people. This is not a call to. Yeah, it's not I'm not blowing any whistle here. But I know that he's comfortable. You said something very important. You know, Asha is international. Timmy is going international. You know, I would say, obviously, because, you know, just from working with them and knowing stuff that, you know, other people are not privy to, Amaomi is actually on a major scale. Like, she's going international, you know, on a major level. Same thing with YJ and all these people. The honest truth is there's a certain kind of music you create that takes you out of this space. And 100 and something odd million Nigerians cannot be wrong. So I'm not saying that the music that we create does not have its value. However, if your goal is the Grammys, if your goal is going out there to be recognized by, you know, not just music, but, you know, musical academia, then you have to create something that's, you know, that's a lot stronger.
Okay.
You will make money off it, I promise you. Think about this. Give you this quick analogy. So you do 200 dates in a year internationally, and you're making, at the very least, after tax and everything, $10,000 from each show, which is very minimal. You're probably making about $2 million in a year. I promise you, you know, that's enough for anyone to live by, you know, to live on, you know, as a good musician. So it's at the end of the day, I would say, keep your mind on, you know, being global.
Yeah.
Keep your mind on being
All right.
international.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go and ask him more other questions to Cobham. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Come back.
I love that song.
Yeah, we could tell.
Okay, moving on to personal questions, actually. Your work is fantastic. I'm awed by all the music that you do. But you said once that your lessons you have learned from blindness, one of them is to trust.
Absolutely.
Now, those of us that are fully sighted have issues even trusting. How did you trust enough?
My shadow go is a problem.
How did you trust enough to pick your wife out of the several girlfriends that you had?
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me. Let him deny.
You're about to make me look absolutely terrible right now. Okay, for the record, I never had several girls. Okay, well, I have dated different people at different times of my life. You know, at different times of my life.
At different times.
Yes. Not at the same time. No, thank you. Well, how did I manage to pick my wife? Well, I believe in certain things that are not commonplace anymore. Intuition is one of them. I believe that, you know, the women, for one, have certain gifts that I hope that, you know, you never get to the point where you no longer have to rely on them. Women are very intuitive. Sometimes you can't explain certain things and you just know. I think that was the first thing that drove me to my wife. I spoke to her on the phone, and the second time I spoke to her on the phone, you know, I knew I was going to marry her. But then I think, you know, of everyone.
What did she say?
She didn't say anything. It was just a knowing. It was intuition. It was just a knowing. But I think, you know, thinking about it in retrospect, she's the one person who, she doesn't give a flying rat's donut about who I think I am. She can tell me as long as she knows, you know, a thing is true. She'd look at my face and be like, look, calm down, don't let this stuff that all these people tell you are deceiving. Let me tell you the truth. Yeah, so she's straight up, and she's honest. Yeah, she's honest. And I know that she loves me because she fights my battles even when I don't want her to. You know what I mean? And then this for me is very important. I realize that, you know, there isn't a thing I have thought of or I have found that I don't think I'll be able to forgive her for.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I think that's important.
Is she a Yoruba girl?
She is.
Okay, now let me. I asked the question. I asked that for a reason.
Yes, I'm a Calabar.
Because I know Yoruba people. You are going to bring somebody that doesn't have eyes to come and marry you. You know how Nigerian Yoruba men can be. Did you have any challenges with her family concerning who you were as a person and your disability?
I have to say this. I don't call them my parents-in-law anymore. I call them my parents because that's literally what they are right now. They are the best, you know, absolute best. Like
fantastic.
her father and I, you know, we talk music all the time. Her father is, you know, he happens to be presently Nigeria's ambassador to the South Pacific.
Oh, wow.
So Australia, New Zealand, and all that.
So he's exposed, obviously.
Yes, he's exposed, and her mother is an amazing, amazing, amazing person. So no, well, I never. Obviously, there'd be, you know, the questions like, how are you guys gonna cope and all that, and I need to prove to them that, look, I can make a breakfast in bed. I run my whole house. I have lived, you know, by myself for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, you know, when I went to LA to talk to her father and, you know, to tell him, you know, that I was going to marry her, you know, I went there and I was going to book, you know, my own hotel, and I was going to do this and I was going to do that. But, you know, he pretty much had everything arranged.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God.
That's so good to know.
So that's how you know that, you know, when something is for you, like the doors swing wide open.
We need to take some tweets. Yes. While we're taking some tweets, I'd like to invite our writer. Her name is Dorothy Ogene. Today's the last day with us on the show. I'd like to just invite you over because, I mean, it's so, Cobhams, I'd like you to just give her a big hug for us because she's been our writer since day one, and today's her last day. You got to come on the show. You got to come on the set. I wouldn't let you leave. The show is almost rounded. I wouldn't let you leave without people knowing who has been writing for this show from day one up until today. She's a fantastic writer. Dorothy, we love you so much. It's going to be your last day here. Cobhams, please give her a hug for us.
She's emotional.
And we had to give you something. You can't just leave like that. So on behalf of the ladies of Your View, we give this to you.
Thank you.
You've been so fantastic. All right?
Oh, can I
miss you. So let our camera guys see what we're giving to Dorothy.
I love it.
A picture of us. So you always remember us wherever you go, that you know that you were there from the beginning up until today. We love you so much, Dorothy.
Thank
All right, back to the matter, Cobhams. We got to read some tweets on Cobhams.
I don't take it away, I didn't. Okay, Bola Giwa says, Cobham is a typical example of a great man. Our youth need to learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
Then Dami says, Cobham is just one who inspires me to do more, even when I have no reasons to, because despite all, he's still good at what he does. God have...
So, Cobhams, we have to round up very quickly, but what's next for you? What should we look out for from Cobhams?
Well, there are a number of things on different levels, but just to make it quick.
Like getting pregnant again. Yeah.
Right. No, that will happen, you know, when God says that will happen.
All right.
But I mean, a number of things. Well, capacity building is key on my mind. It's important that, you know, we grow people who are actually skilled in the art. And so I've been spending a lot of time in America. I've been learning, I've been producing, I've been traveling. I'm bringing, you know, all that wealth of knowledge back, you know, to teach, to create music, to build an enabling environment for aspiring producers. It's a tough call, but someone's got to do it. Yeah. And so,
thank you so
much.
I'm doing that. I'm working on my own album project. I put out a single last year and put out a video this year. I'm very excited about that. It's getting great reviews. Watch out for Bez. His album's coming out. Bez is international. He's great. He's doing good stuff. And
all right,
so there's good stuff.
Did you ever school in England or America?
We got to round up. Thank you so much, Cobhams, for being here. Thank you,
jealous.
Dorothy, again.
I'm really jealous.
We have to end the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. We had a great time this week. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast of this program at midnight tonight. You can also watch previous episodes by going to YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. Do you have your PVC yet, Cobhams?
No, I don't.
Please go get it. It's important.
I don't.
Your vote is your right. Don't waste it. Use it wisely.
It's not my fault I don't have it.
Why
They won't give it to me.
I mean, I'm not going to my own.
They won't give it to me.
See you next week. Bye-bye. In fact, I'm going to get my own today. Today's the last day, Abby.
Yes,
I'm going to get today.
All right,
bye-bye. See you Monday.